I just lived my worst nightmare. A Jeep tore through my brick wall, and then the HOA president tried to sue me for it. Her reason? My illegal wall almost injured her daughter. Little did she know the judge would watch the dash cam and shut her down for good. My name is Hank Gregory. I fix things. Engines, pipes, broken promises. If it's busted, I can usually make it right. That Saturday morning, all I wanted was to fix a stubborn lawnmower and drink my coffee. Instead, I nearly lost everything. Let me tell you how that happened. We had a good life in Augusta, Maine. Small house, big yard, a kid who loved nothing more than running in circles until the sun sank. Lily was the center of our world. Pam, she's the brains of the operation. Runs the books. Keeps me from swinging first when somebody gets under my skin. I've got a short fuse. Pam calls it a character flaw I can't afford. I call it honesty, without a filter. I built that wall for Lily. Not a fortress, not a spite thing. 3 feet of brick along the front property line so she could play without darting into the street. I pulled permits, had inspections, did it by the book. I laid each brick myself. It was solid. It was mine. On that morning, the air was so clean it almost hurt. The coffee was hot. Pam was at the kitchen table with invoices. Lily was still asleep. I was in the garage, elbow deep in a mower that had refused to turn over all spring. Oil, metal, the faint sweetness of cut grass. It was peaceful. Then came the sound. Not a soft pop, not a distant crash. It was a roar, then the sickening crunch of steel against brick. The world sounding like it had been split in two. I dropped the wrench. I don't remember the clatter. My only thought was Lily. I ran. I rounded the corner of the house and saw a silver Jeep nose first in my yard, like someone had leaned a 2-ton beast into our flower beds and left the engine whimpering. Bricks were scattered like fallen teeth. Red dust hung in the air. The front bumper was crumpled, but the thing that hit me like a physical blow was where it stopped. Less than 3 feet from Lily's bedroom window. 3 feet. Her window was 6 feet back from the wall. My wall saved her. I felt the blood leave my face. The world narrowed. Pam's hand flew to her mouth. For a long moment we stood, and all the little domestic sounds, the fridge, a distant lawnmower, a siren somewhere, went quiet. I remember thinking, a little more gas, a little less brick, and none of this would exist. Not my house. Not our plans. The Jeep's driver stumbled out. A young woman, maybe 17, pale, shaking, phone clutched to her ear. She looked like she'd seen a ghost. Then she started crying, but not the "I'm sorry" kind. "Mom, it's totaled," she wailed into the phone. "My car is ruined." That was the moment my fear turned to rage. Not because the car was ruined, because the focus wasn't on the fact that my kid had just been nearly killed. It was on the car. And then Karen showed up. She marched down the street straight out of a town hall nightmare. Fluffy pink robe, slippers, hair in a messy bun, phone already streaming. "You see this?" She shrieked toward the live camera. "This man built an illegal wall, a hazard to the community." Her performance was textbook. Find the line that makes you the victim, then broadcast it until it's true. If you don't know Karen, she's been the Oak Meadows HOA president for 5 years. A woman who treats bylaws like ammunition. She'd hassled me for the mailbox in 2021, for the noise of my cement mixer, for the precise shade of my lawn. I'd done everything by the book on this wall because I knew Karen would watch. Permits, inspections, photos, I kept everything. But watching her point at the rubble and finger me like I was the criminal was surreal. The woman whose daughter just nearly barreled into my kid's bedroom was trying to make me the problem. The cops came. Brittany, the driver, was cited for inattentive driving. They towed the Jeep. Karen filed a complaint that afternoon, accusing my illegal wall of being the cause. That when the nightmares got real. A week later, a thick envelope arrived at my door, summons and complaint. We didn't have charity budgets to burn. 25 grand could wipe out savings, the college fund. Pam and I sat at the kitchen table with the papers spread in front of us like a snake, and for the first time in years I felt that old, low panic. But Pam, calm, steady, got up, opened the drawer, and pulled out the folder. Permits, inspection cards with green approval stickers, photos of the foundation and rebar, the final sign-off from the city inspector. She clicked her tongue and said very softly, "We don't give in to bullies." We hired a lawyer, Ben Carter. He wasn't a suit. He smelled faintly of coffee and common sense. He watched our security footage and Pam S. video of Karen S. livestream and leaned back with that smile that means a plan S. working. "This lawsuit is baseless," he said. "We're not just going to fight it. We're going to finish it." What followed was boring in the perfect way. Paperwork, discovery, photo after photo, proof after proof. Pam became a one-woman evidence machine. Sightline photos from the driver's seat of our car, construction stills showing the frost-depth foundation and drainage weep holes, permits stamped and approved. My security camera was the ace. Grainy but decisive footage of the Jeep pulling into the driveway, pausing, then lurching forward. Not an accident caused by a blocked view, but a panic stomp on the gas where the driver meant to press the brake. Then there was Karen's live stream, still on Pam's phone. Shrill, accusatory, nails on chalkboard testimony that she was more interested in pointing cameras than checking on her kid. Ben said the two videos together were gold. One showed the actual sequence that caused the crash. The other showed immediate post-crash intent, the public performance of blame. That combination made our counter-arguments brutal and precise. Things escalated. Karen sent letters via the HOA, citing my temporary plywood patch as an eyesore. $100 a day fine if I didn't restore the wall. She sent an overeager community standards inspector with a clipboard and a fake badge who tried to intimidate me at my porch. I documented it all. Pam told me to stay calm and record. I did. Every petty move she made turned into evidence of harassment. Court dates stacked up like storm clouds. We filed our response, attached the permits, the inspection cards, the sightline photos, and stills from my camera. Ben filed for summary judgment, arguing that their case was so weak there was no need for a jury. We built a straightforward timeline: Jeep parks, driver panics, driver floors it, Jeep mounts curb, wall stops a tragedy. Everything else was noise. The day of the hearing, I remember sitting in the back of that courtroom like a man waiting to see whether the truth would actually matter. I'd reheard the dash cam footage in my head 1,000 times. Pam squeezed my hand like she always does when I need grounding. Ben stood up and spoke with the kind of calm that makes judges listen. He played the security footage. He played Pam's video. He laid out our permits and inspector notes, and the judge did what every person who cares about facts hopes a judge will do. He watched. He watched the video closely, paused it, watched it again. He asked questions not of me, but of the facts on the screen. When he spoke, he was mercifully blunt. He said the footage showed the origin of the crash, driver error, and that the plaintiff S. claims about a dangerous, unpermitted wall were not supported by evidence. He granted summary judgment in our favor and dismissed the case. More than that, he admonished the plaintiff for pursuing a baseless claim and noted that the videos suggested bad faith behavior. Editor's note: exact judicial language and orders should be confirmed in court records if you plan to publish verbatim. When the judge read the dismissal, all the pent-up fear and fury in me turned into a strange, slow relief. We had been vindicated, but the victory did not feel like a trophy. It felt like the work of two people who refused to be bullied and did the hard thing: keep every receipt, every inspection tag, every shaky cell phone video. Afterward, Karen retreated. The HOA letters stopped. Brittany's insurance paid to repair my yard and some of the wall. Ben filed our counterclaim for legal fees and damage to the wall. In the end, what mattered most was Lily sitting on the back porch with her bear, drawing with chalk on the concrete where the flowers used to be. She asked me that night, simple as a bell, "Daddy, are we okay?" I held her and felt normal again. Or the version of normal that comes after something big breaks and you put it back together. Here's what this taught me. Do your work right and document it. When someone tries to make a spectacle out of your life, don't match theatrics with theatrics. Match facts with facts. Also, and this is a small thing that mattered, record everything. A shaky phone video and a grainy security camera saved our house. If you were watching this and you were tempted to scroll past because it sounds like HOA drama, think about what it's like to be a parent who built something so simple to keep a child safe, then watched a stranger try to make you the villain. It moves differently when you're the one living it. We don't hate Karen. We hate what she tried to do. Weaponize reputation and the legal system to hurt a family. If anything, I felt pity toward her in the end. But I won't forget the adrenaline, the nights staring at ceiling paint, the feeling of a legal document that could have wiped out a plan for a kid as college. If you're out there building something, a literal wall or just a life you care about, do the work, keep the paperwork, and record the important stuff. And if someone tries to kneecap you with a smear, don't panic. Get a lawyer who knows how to read the tape. This was my worst nightmare. We lived through it. We rebuilt. And that wall, I'll rebuild it again, even better this time. Brick by stubborn brick.